This is part 2, how we became the United States. Remember to open your Google Doc and answer the questions as the video goes along. Pause the video if you need to, and turn in your questions at the end. Enjoy.
I left you in 1776 when we were still not a country. We had the French here, the Spanish here, the English here, and we had Native Americans, of course, and people of African heritage here as well. And things were starting to heat up. 1776, 200 years ago, the American Revolution. By 1776, the British, or English, controlled the East Coast. The people were organized into 13 colonies. See right there, Georgia was one of the 13 colonies. English was the language of business and government. The problem was that the colonists, now called Americans, were tired of being ruled by England, a tiny island across the sea. So here's the New World. Here are the 13 colonies, and here's England. And so these guys, people, were paying taxes to a king all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. So in your history class, you'll study the causes of the American Revolution. Really interesting. All right, let's move on. In 1776, the Americans declared independence and began fighting against the British. It was a long and bloody conflict. This was the American flag. The 13 stars and 13 stripes represented the 13 colonies. The American Revolution was not the first war in our New World, but it was the first really important war to remember because the Americans won. So we fought for 8 years. We won, the Americans. Now we celebrate July 4th as Independence Day. And that is the day in 1776 when the Declaration of Independence was signed. So that makes us 244 years old as of 2020. So here you see the what was then the American flag being hung up. All right, so the British are no longer ruled the Americans, and we became the United States. So each of the 13 colonies voted to ratify or accept the new U.S. Constitution. They became the first 13 states of the new country. I say this to all my students, there are good things and bad things about every country in the world. And in the United States, there are plenty of things that are not good. But one of the best things about our country is the U.S. Constitution. This is the document that was written to form our new government, and it is still in place. So the 13 colonies voted. Aha, yes, only white men could actually vote. That's kind of interesting. So no women, no person of color could vote, only white men. But anyway, but they voted to accept the new U.S. Constitution. And that's how the country started, the first United States. So here they are, Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maryland, South Carolina, New Hampshire, Virginia, New York, North Carolina, and Rhode Island. The first 13 colonies became the first states of the United States. Okay, that was just the beginning. The Americans believed the whole land should be theirs, and they began moving west. So they started here, and they started moving west. This period was called Westward Expansion, and it lasted about 100 years, through the 1800s. When you see images like this in your textbooks or in books that you read or in movies, then think of this historical period. One by one, territories joined the Union as states. By 1860, we had 34 states. And so here are the next, up to 34. Two big things happened before 1860. One is that Thomas Jefferson, back in 1803, bought the French territory from France, literally bought it from France. And then in 1848, the United States fought a war with Mexico, and we won the war and made a deal with Mexico, and I think paid them some money also, and we got all this territory for the United States. So now the United States had pretty much most of this territory. In the 1860s, though, the United States almost fell apart. And we'll see how and why in the next video.